A robbery suspect led the California Highway Patrol in a chase. The suspect was briefly pinned down by patrol cars, but managed to escape, and the chase resumed. The armed suspect appeared to be surrendering, and caution was paramount. This wasn't just a robbery, it was a chaotic and dangerous chase. In the sprawling urban fabric of Los Angeles, a simple police call can quickly escalate into a full-blown manhunt. This is the story of one such day. Time was ticking, tensions were running high, and the streets of California became the scene of a high-stakes chase. It all started in Temple City. A routine call for a robbery suspect. But what began as a routine police response quickly escalated. At 1:17 p.m., the California Highway Patrol took over the chase, following a white SUV with one goal: to apprehend the suspect. But the suspect had other plans. He led the officers on a wild ride, exiting the freeway and weaving through the gridlock of South Los Angeles. This wasn't just a chase, it was a desperate dance, as the suspect used every street and every car to his advantage, trying to escape the pursuit.
Streetlights blink like coded warnings, shadowed alleys, stories scorning. Each turn sharper, adrenaline flows, a desperate ride where danger grows. Is it the thrill of the fight I crave? This asphalt beast, my soul enslaved. The lines blur fast, the end unclear. Speed's the drug, I've lost the gear. Streetlights blink like coded warnings, shadowed alleys, stories scorning. Each turn sharper, adrenaline flows, a desperate ride where danger grows. Is it the thrill of the fight I crave? This asphalt beast, my soul enslaved. The lines blur fast, the end unclear. Speed's the drug, I've lost the gear. But it's marching, igniting, hearts are pounding, fears inviting. How long will this moment last? The clock is screaming, seconds fast.
Just about the rate of traffic. But then the unusual part was, as you mentioned, when this person just decided to stop right on the 110 freeway. The police, CHP, got right behind him, guns drawn, got out of the vehicle, started approaching, and as they approached, that's when he took off again. And so here we are again. It looks like that's on Flower Street, and I think it's heading southbound at this point, but now you see starting to blow through some stop signs.
Right, and I'm wondering if this person's going to try to get back onto the 110, but they're driving pretty much parallel to it, it looks like, until now, and now they're taking a right there into residential areas, which then it actually, Philip, it looks like it went from a slow speed pursuit or sort of a regular driving speeds pursuit to now this person is picking up some steam and now breaking a few laws. We saw them a moment ago.
Well, and it does look like this is in the South Park area, which if you're looking at the freeway, that would be on the east side of the freeway. And again, you start to notice driving through some of these intersections. And this is when, when you're on the freeway, the pace is, driving with traffic, they're just kind of following him, monitoring him. That makes it a little easier, a little safer for everybody. But now that you're off on these side streets, here at about 1:37 in the afternoon. Kids are in school, so that's okay, but you're going to have pedestrian traffic. You're going to have people walking around. We saw a person on a skateboard a moment ago. So when you start getting into these neighborhoods, now you're starting to run the risk of other commuters like this minivan SUV right in front of them. They're passing. So it begins to get unsafe for everybody around.
Yeah, you're starting to see them get a little bit more agitated. We're trying to figure out, we're trying to learn what was the original reason that the CHP was pursuing this vehicle. But again, you can see starting to make a little bit of a square here. If we ends up turning, we're not quite sure if this person knows this area. As we've covered many pursuits, they tend to go to areas that they know. But this person looks like they're driving in sort of random rights and lefts and through streets. But again, you can see the CHP is behind them. We know the LAPD definitely is aware of this situation happening. But now you just saw, Philip, you see the SUV, it is now stopped. The driver who's being pursued, we saw this happen moments ago. The CHP got out, and then as soon as there was a little bit of exchange of dialogue, then the driver took off again. So
and if you notice the demeanor of the officer there, he's, clearly it looks as if he's talking to the driver of the vehicle. He does have a weapon, and there we go. He's holstering the weapon, and off they go again. So it's almost as if they don't believe this person is actually surrendering any time that they stop. They have to be ready. But see, this is the rate of speed that you don't want to see in a residential neighborhood. Now coming up on Vermont, apparently it's on 55th Street, and now heading on Vermont.
Yeah, again, what you just said, the CHP is treating this as though they think that they're going to be able to pull. Now now they turned left. So again,
turned right around and heading back in the same direction.
Right on West 56th Street again. But now they're going to be probably encountering some more law enforcement vehicles because they're all in this area right behind them. So again, we're going to kind of see how this plays out because it's just one of these pursuits that the person was not going really fast on the freeway, but this started, at least we caught up with it on the 110 South.
Well, and we saw on the 110 that the traffic is at least significant enough that the person didn't have access to just drive however they wanted. So they got off the freeway because of the congestion, and then now you're driving around in South LA at high rates of speed on some of these side streets in the neighborhood, 56, 58, and going back and forth from Vermont and Hoover quite a bit. But again, the risk that you're running here is that this kind of traffic, pulling into traffic, now coming up on Figueroa, which again runs right next parallel to the 110, but now you're back into traffic. And so this, you're going to have CHP right behind him. You're going to be boxed in with other cars, and now it's just how aggressive will this person be, and that again becomes risky for everybody around him.
Yeah, and I'm thinking about all the people around him, Philip, right now.
Then, a moment that stunned everyone. Officers surrounded the suspect. Several patrol cars pinned him down, and it seemed the chase was over. The end was seconds away. But in a move that defied logic and the law, the suspect somehow managed to escape, cut through the barrier, and resumed the chase. The chase was now more dangerous than ever. The stakes were higher. A red Kia was spotted next to the suspect's SUV, seemingly mimicking his every move. Was this an accomplice? Or just another driver caught in the chaos? Speculation mounted as the chase dragged on.
He's being very aggressive here to stop this chase. There's going to be an officer behind, so now he's backing up, and it looks like they're going to pin this person in. So they must have some sort of idea that this person is not armed, but that is incredibly aggressive.
That is incredibly aggressive, and wow, the maneuver from this driver, that was pretty impressive. They found that one little sliver that they could get in between those cars, and I wonder what's going now. Oh,
the CHP is really going to stop this vehicle right now. They are really trying to stop. They are aggressively trying to box them in, because in the past we don't see CHP try to box somebody in. Most law enforcement will not box them in because that puts the officers at risk. This is the first time I've ever seen somebody use other cars to try to stop this person from maneuvering around and then putting the officers right in front of him, trying to stop him completely.
Yeah, but think about this driver, Phil. Just watch him. The person did sort of a brake check where the CHP was coming up pretty fast, and then they did a hard stop where the CHP almost rear-ended this driver. That was incredibly aggressive from the driver. The CHP is really trying to get this person apprehended. That really was remarkable to see all those CHP going in. I mean, it looked like a done deal until there was that little wedge of an opening.
As we continue this chase, you see that he's going westbound, but we do want to let you know that there's a special report regarding the shooting of Charlie Kirk. That is going to come up any moment. When that happens, we're going to bring it to you. So we are awaiting that from ABC News as we continue to watch this chase that is ongoing. We do not know why they are chasing this person, but this person's actions have continued to get more and more aggressive, and the speeds are just increasing through South Los Angeles as they go near the 110, but not on these surface streets around.
Gosh, sometimes holding my breath a little bit. That the driver is playing this cat and mouse game with the CHP, which is so unusual to watch. I'm not used to seeing this part of these chases. Again, we're showing you right there on the banner below. You can see it started in Temple City, and we saw that. Go ahead, Philip.
The tire and fault. This engine roars, it steals the show.
Out of that second vehicle and approached CHP in that intersection. So this has become a very odd and dangerous chase by the actions of this driver.
No doubt about it, and that really was unusual to see the person come out of their car and go to the CHP's window, which is very dangerous. I mean, I don't understand why you would take.
Well, and they had something in their hands, almost like they had like hairspray
I couldn't tell what it
something.
was. I couldn't tell what it was. But again, this person is leading police on a pursuit well over a half hour now. We're trying to figure out why was this person in it, and you're going to see this. I'm not quite sure why the CHP hasn't. Well, it looks like this. Well, you see the driver heading into a parking lot or a gas station.
The red car was right there in the screen again.
Oh, really? So
yeah,
this red car continues to kind of follow along right there.
There it is. That's the car that was, that car was following CHP, which was following the Tiguan, and they were just going around and around a circle, and they continue to go in this same general area of South LA. Although they are now down to 88th Street. Earlier they were up near 55th, 56th. So they've moved down to Manchester in that area. But we don't know if they necessarily know anybody. We just know that they've gotten off the freeway.
Yeah, and they keep doing kind of U-turns, or they're just kind of right, left, right, left, right, left, like just kind of going into this sort of the grid of this area. But then
into oncoming traffic now.
Oncoming traffic now. Now that is very dangerous. And I know we are getting close to the 2 o'clock hour. Several kids do, the elementary kids get out of school, and this is one of those. Let's see. I was going to say I haven't seen this car get in any kind of collision yet, but we weren't on it the whole time during the special report.
Well, we do know there's damage to the vehicle. We don't know if that vehicle damage is caused, was already there, but if you've noticed on one of the, I think it was the passenger side, that it did seem that there were some crash marks as if it hit something. But now here you go again, stopping right there, if that's the vehicle that we're looking at. Nope, in the front, Air 7, I think to the right.
In the front.
Tilt right, go right. Is that not it there?
I was thinking it was at the intersection, the first.
I thought that was the very first white vehicle
in the middle lane.
That is about to go forward now, but maybe not. Okay, so we're hearing from our director that a red vehicle got on the highway, so maybe Air 7 to the right, if you could. There goes a red vehicle, but I'm not sure if that was them. No. They went under the overpass and we lost them right there at that metro spot.
Yeah, we're trying to figure out exactly what's going on with this pursuit now.
Air 7 is continuing to look on the freeway, and if they can hear us, it does sound as if maybe they got onto the freeway. Don't know if they were going north or south. As I look at, it was possibly northbound. Is that, Mike, is that what you were thinking? Our director? Oh, nope, right in front of us, there's CHP. On, would it be Grand? Right in that space, I believe there's CHP there. Now, if they're not sure if they're following, so bear with us here. We're streaming with you just to see if we can figure out where this person has ended. Chances are they're going to be in the same area, and there's a heavy police presence throughout South LA. The last we had seen them, they were Manchester and Western, I believe, is what we had seen a moment ago.
Yeah, and again, it's not easy when you start realizing it's very hard for for police, any sort of jurisdiction, to pull over a car during a pursuit when there's a lot of cars on the street. They're trying to be mindful of the community. And then this person, as you can see right there, you see so many white cars, a pretty popular color. So again, we're trying to figure out where this car is. Remember, it was a Volkswagen, small SUV, a Tiguan, if that's how you pronounce it, but that part's debatable. But again, it's the white VW SUV, and now it appears that at least our eyes are not on it. Air 7's trying to find it as we kind of get a vast view of this area. And as soon as we see more CHP cars or LAPD cars, we know we'll be in the right area. But as of right now, we are not able to find this vehicle, part of this pursuit.
Okay, we see 2 CHP officers, and to your point a minute ago, how do you know? It does look as if they're going lights and sirens. So chances are you're able to hear what's going on if you're in the neighborhood. But it's certainly starting to pick up as far as the commute. We're seeing more and more cars, and this person had stayed off the freeway and was just driving around on surface streets, and now we're seeing CHP at a pretty high rate of speed.
Yeah.
It looks like they're going on Manchester there, if I'm reading this correctly, and it is possibly going away from the freeway. So maybe they saw something ahead that has them heading in that direction. But they have gone into oncoming traffic themselves as well.
And we know that you can see people, pedestrians sort of just minding their own business. They'll be able to figure out there's something happening soon. But again, that's what's so remarkable about some of these pursuits. When you go under those overpasses, which is what we saw, going under an overpass, that's when it seems like we lost sight of this pursuit vehicle. Obviously,
and the problem is just because we find CHP or officers, it doesn't necessarily mean there's so many of them in the neighborhood. Yeah. So we don't know necessarily if these guys are going to a place they think the suspect is going, or if they are actually engaged with them, because we have not seen the vehicle since it went under the overpass. We saw that red car for a minute. We believe the red car that was involved with this got up on the freeway at some point, but we do not know where CHP here is going. They're on Avalon and 91st Street. So that would generally have them heading southbound, if I'm getting that correctly. So they're on Avalon southbound.
Hey, by the way, Philip, we were just talking about the overpass. We're learning that the CHP is with that suspect vehicle under the freeway, but no one's in the car. So that leads you to believe that red car.
The 2 of them might be in the red car and on the freeway. So it says here also in our note from our assignment desk that the driver got into a red vehicle, continued on Manchester, and they've lost sight of it. So that all makes a lot of sense in the possibility that the red vehicle got up onto the freeway and took off.
Yeah, very, very much involved with this pursuit as well. I know our director was saying that, and I was thinking, no, that seems very unusual. But Michael, you called it. We're all involved in these pursuits because we're all trying to keep our eyes on to what to do here. When we see cars lost by authorities, we all start looking around, and again, now we're trying to figure out. So the CHP, they must be trying to find that red vehicle. But did the red vehicle get on the freeway? Again, you just look around, there's a lot of red vehicles. And it looked like a small compact SUV, correct, Philip?
It did, yeah. It looked, I don't know what that vehicle was, but it's similar in nature to that midsize SUV, which is the Volkswagen Tiguan that we were looking at. But again, if they did get on the freeway, we've certainly lost them. Looks like CHP is searching that neighborhood. And again, I don't know if we can re-cue the video. It might be too difficult because we're about to wrap this up here in a few minutes if we can't find the suspect. But that was such an interesting thing to see. It was almost a merry-go-round moment where the 3 vehicles were just doing a circle in the intersection, and the red vehicle's one of them. And then the woman got out of the car, and it makes you think that was the person that eventually helped the suspect take off.
It wasn't.
But every chase has an end. Finally, the officers, relentless and thorough, stopped the suspect. The driver of the white SUV was arrested, ending a tense standoff that had lasted for what seemed like an eternity. The city was finally able to breathe a sigh of relief. This chase was not just a moment of stolen freedom, it was a chaotic, high-stakes game of chase, one that demonstrated the unpredictability of desperate acts. This game reminds us that justice on the streets of California is always just a few steps away.